So what you need is one goal, and then what you actually, where you want to be is a completely different one.
Like, how many clients do we lose a year? You know what it is?
It's like 20%, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because sometimes you think you want to do something, you get into it, and you're like, I don't really enjoy this, and you switch. You don't want to do vivids? Don't do them. Don't post them. Like, because what you post is what you're going to bring in.
One in a million. One in a million. One in a million. One in a million.
All right, we're back.
Back in action.
Okay, so this is our second one. Look at that. We made it to 2.
Number two.
Took us 2 years, and we're here with
Number 2.
All right, so what are we talking about today?
We taught a class a couple weeks ago.
2 weeks ago?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, and it was so good. We got some really good feedback for you guys, so we want to share. Mm-hmm. Why do we want to share?
So we had, 60 people? It was 2 back-to-back classes. The first one sold out, and so they did a second one. So over 60 people showed up for it, and we didn't really know where we were going with the class, so we just kind of like went with the flow and got a ton of questions. And so this has given us the outline of what is obviously needed in the industry and that a ton of people have questions for. I mean, because we had people that were in school, fresh out of school, and then have been in the industry for a long time.
That own salons, that have been platform artists. I mean, shout out to you for coming to our class. That was amazing.
Yeah. So it's obviously there's a need. So we're going to talk about how to get out of a rut in your business if you currently have one, and then, or how to build the business of your dreams, like if you're starting fresh. Because, I mean, we can speak to either person. We see both of them in our salon, whether they're coming straight out of school or whether they've been in the industry for a while and they're just coming in.
Yeah, because, I mean, I've been there. Yeah, I've been there. I was that stylist that was just stuck. So.
Did you ever contemplate quitting? Doing something else?
Yeah, I contemplating doing injections, which I don't know why, because I'm like terrified of hurting people. I don't even like to wax people.
I don't know. Yeah.
So
it's like at least eyebrows grow back. I'm sorry if I screwed up your face and now you're lopsided.
Whoopsies.
Oh no. Yeah, no, I would not want to touch that. So shout out to you guys that are in that part of the beauty industry because I want no part of that. But good job.
Thank you.
Good job. Because extension clients are already needy enough. They're great. But they know what they want, so I can only imagine what injectors go through.
Could you imagine?
No.
No,
I'm good in my lane. So right now we're currently building a course around this, but this gave us a little bit more feedback into what is actually needed in the industry, how to elevate your career. And our course is like built around extension specialists, but this can be used in any sort of niche, honestly.
Exactly. I mean, we saw that in the classes that we had.
Yeah.
Those first 2 classes that we taught on this, it was mostly people who were still in school.
Yeah. So they didn't really know what they wanted to do. They came to an extension class, but then we were able to be like, okay, well, what if you want to do color? What if you end up loving that? Because sometimes you think you want to do something, you get into it, and you're like, I don't really enjoy this, and you switch. Because, I mean, you do more color, I do more extensions. We both do each of those.
Exactly.
But you enjoy color more, because that's what you specialize in.
Exactly. So I feel like, I mean, I can charge more for my color because I do it all the time, right?
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. And you educate with it. So you have the knowledge behind it. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've done color for a long time, but I've educated with extensions for so long that I don't do every type out there, but I can teach you how to do pretty much every type out there. So it's just figuring out what your niche is. What do you want to specialize in? What do you love? Because in school, like I was taught, you had to be a jack of all trades to be successful. I don't want to do pedicures. Do you want to do pedicures?
No.
Like, absolutely not. So, but you had to learn it in order to pass your test, unless you were a barber. So as a cosmetologist, you had to do everything. I don't want to do everything. So that's something that we bring into our salon is like that you had to be a jack of all trades and do everything. I don't want to do that. And so something we coach to our staff is like, what do you enjoy? And you may not know right away, but figure it out and just specialize in that. If you don't want to do men's cuts, don't do them. But we have people that love men's cuts. If you don't want to do vivids, don't do them. Don't post them. Like, because what you post is what you're going to bring in. So we're going to talk a little bit about building the business of your dreams. The first thing to start out would be like figuring out, especially if you've been in the industry for a long time, you're a professional. You know what you know, you're good at what you're doing, but you have to be okay with like forgetting all of that and just starting fresh. Realizing that if you're not where you want to be, that you have to be a newbie at something and figure out where you want to be. And if you're new in the industry, you have a leg up, I feel. Don't you think?
Exactly. So what we're asking you guys is that you just kind of, we're not asking you to not be who you are. We want you to be who you are, but we want you to sit here and we want you to listen to what we have to say. We want you to take everything we're going to give you today, and we want you to take it and just expect a new outcome. So if you're used to getting the same thing, right, you've got to change something. Because what do they say?
What is that?
Expecting the same thing.
What is that thing where it's like, what is that called? Where you're crazy?
Oh, yeah.
What is it?
It's insanity.
Insanity.
Yeah, so you're expecting something different.
Thing. Yes, expecting something different, doing the same result or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Comment below and tell us what it is, because obviously we're two blondes that can't remember anything. But, so just allow yourself the space to think of where you want to be. And I feel like as stylists, we kind of get in a rut, especially when you're starting out and you just need money, you take anything and everything. So it's okay to kind of let go of some of that and allow yourself the space to figure out where you want to be. So just, I know that you're the pro, but just become coachable. Allow yourself something new. Just be real with yourself. So when you're real with yourself, what do you need to know?
You need to know where you're at. So think about how many hours you're working already. Think about how much time you want to spend with your family. Think about how much time maybe you're not spending with your family. Think about the money you're making. Are you making enough? Are you making too much?
Your budget. How much what's your bottom line? What do you need to take home? Are you living above your means? Do you need to kind of cut back in areas? What's more important to you, your actual time freedom or the money? And how do you get that balance? Because it's different for every person.
Exactly. So we met with one of my good friends, Rita. She's actually my financial advisor. So I brought her into the salon, and she gave me some feedback. She said, most of your stylists don't know what they're spending, and they don't know what they're bringing home. So how do you know what you need?
That's scary. To just be treading water and not know what you need.
Exactly.
Because even if you're leveling up and you're doing more and you're bringing in more, you end up spending more and you feel like you're going nowhere. So you need a plan, right?
Exactly.
So how do we give them a plan?
So know what you're spending. Know exactly what you're spending. So I mean, you could easily make a spreadsheet. You could watch what you're spending on Starbucks, what you're spending on food. So you could have a food category. You could have a rent category. You can have utilities. So the main thing they sent me was mortgage, car, utilities, and then just extra expenses. And then child expenses. Most of us probably have children. Mm-hmm. So they had me write all of those down, and then they kind of gave me a little extra percentage on top of that. I can't tell you what it was, maybe an extra 10%, because they actually gave me an extra 25 because I was about to have a baby. But let's give you an extra 10%, saying that that's just what you're wanting to spend on normal things. So whether it's gas, which gas is crazy right now. I mean, we'll listen back on this, how many years from now?
That's going to take your whole budget right now.
Yeah.
I mean, we're at $5 a gallon in Oklahoma?
Yeah, I walked here. I didn't walk here.
You probably should have.
I watched as I drove here, and I want to say it was $4.39. So, I mean, when I first started driving, it was $1.89. But anyway, so know what you're spending, and then know what you're making. So I'm going to let Carissa talk about our exercise and what this is going to mean for you at the very end of this podcast.
Okay, and starting out, this is going to be different for commission stylists versus booth rent and suite renters, salon owners, any of those, but the exercise works for every single person. So this will fit anyone. But generally, what you want to do is sit down and just envision yourself in a quiet space where you want to be. What does your dream career look like? Do you want to be working 10 hours a week? Do you want to be working 2 days a week? Do you want to be working 40 hours a week? Do you just love your career so much that you want to live at the salon? I want time with my family, but it's when you're chasing something constantly, sometimes your family suffers. So what does your dream look like? How many hours a week are you working? How many days? And what is that actual tangible money that you're taking home? Now, this isn't something that has to be obtainable in a year or 5, 10, but you have to set a goal for yourself. Otherwise, you're just constantly doing the same thing. So what you can track, you can grow. So we're going to give you little tidbits into what we coach our staff. We do monthly meetings with them just to kind of keep them in line with where they want to be. The reason we do it monthly is because sometimes you hit seasons of life and it changes for a month. Or you feel kind of down about yourself and then you realize when you look at numbers, it's really not that bad. Or maybe it was bad and we have to figure out a way to get out of that. So it's important to be honest with yourself every single day and definitely every single month so you can, that's what turns into a year, into 5, into 10. Because I can't believe I've been doing hair for 10 years. Can you?
No.
It does not feel like that at all. So, it goes by so fast. So one of the main things that we teach our staff, what's one of the first things that they track?
Their sales, total sales.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to know what you're bringing into the salon. Bring it to yourself. So what are clients paying you? So total sales, I want you to envision as like what people are paying you. I don't want to know your gross. I don't want to know after taxes. I want to know what your clients are paying you. So I saw 4 clients, and they each paid me a total of $1,000 that week. So if I divide my $1,000 by 4 clients, that's going to give me my average ticket, which I can't do math right now. Is it $250? That's what I thought.
$250. Yep. So then you know what your average person is spending, and you know how many of those you need to be able to hit your goal based on what you need. So what you need is one goal, and then where you want to be is a completely different one. So average ticket's really important, knowing what your total sales are and being able to do that math. Another thing that we teach is RTS. What keeps a salon afloat is at least on a salon perspective, is product sales. But that also, goes on to paychecks as well too. So again, if you're booth rent or commission, you want to make money on products. They're buying their shampoo somewhere.
Why not buy it from you?
Why not?
Yeah.
Like they're going to Amazon, Ulta, Target, where else? Another salon. We've had other people walk into our salon to purchase something because we sell the product they want. So why wouldn't they take it from you? They trust you with their hair. So sell them some freaking product.
I heard, I can't remember who told me the other day, maybe Chris, I can't remember. It's not a their problem, it's a you problem. So if somebody's buying product from Ulta, it's not a their problem, it's a you problem. So figure it out. So why are they buying from Ulta? Is it points? Okay, well then offer points. Is it because they can send it to their house for free? Okay, send it to their house for free. But let them know, like, hey, I understand you took my advice and you bought that purple shampoo that I suggested, but I would really appreciate it if you bought it from me next time.
People love small business right now. So if you can even say, like, this helps a small business. Now, there's some people you'll never be able to get away from that because they, hide it in the purchase of other things so their husband doesn't see it or whatever that looks like. But majority of people, want to support you or they wouldn't be coming in to see you. So at least, you could make more just having the clients you have just off of products. So, and then sometimes they don't know they need something. So build that into your actual consultation.
Yeah. So what you want them to do, definitely have in the consultation. So whether you want them to rebook, have a plan for them. Whether you want them to buy product, have a plan for them. So everything stems from the consultation. One thing I taught in that class was, 90% of stylists think that they give a consultation to every guest that walks in their door.
Was it 2% of actual clients believe that they've had a consultation?
Ever. So
you're telling me that you've came and sat in someone's chair and they just started mixing and didn't do anything. Usually that's not the case, but that means we're not being clear with what we're doing. We're not giving them a plan. And that's usually why people salon hop, because they don't feel like their staff or their stylist is giving them what they're looking for. So ask questions, give them a plan. Don't spend their money for them. Actually figure out what they can budget and what they can afford and then build a plan around that.
Oh yeah, so maybe we should get into beauty budget.
We could,
yeah. That's one thing we teach. Yes. It's one thing we literally, you have to have a budget for everyone, or you have to talk budget with everyone. We're not afraid of money, so.
No, and I feel like that's something that happens a lot in this industry, or people are afraid to talk about money, or they're like, I don't want to charge that. They can't afford it. They gave me this sob story about how their house is in foreclosure or this and that. Well, they're sitting in your chair. They obviously want something. So it's your job to just give them the plan of what they need, and then they can pick and choose what they actually want to spend their money on. So, I mean, if your full head foil is $250, but they can only spend $200, and that's your half head foil price, don't discount yourself. Like, actually give them a plan. Okay, so if this is your budget, we can start here. You're only going to get this. And it's going to take 1 or 2 extra bowls, because please charge for your product, because we know product is so expensive right now. And then they know that that's what's in their budget. That's so much better than them coming to check out, and then you're like, oh, it's this much. Mm-hmm. And you like get really quiet. That's really awkward. Don't do that at the end. Do not do that at the end. So I feel like that's why people don't feel like they have had consultations.
Exactly. So there was one thing I heard, I can't remember what podcast it came from, but they have like a limit. I want to say it was from Thriving Stylist podcast, actually. So you think like you can't have a ticket over $200 because, oh, $225 is getting a little crazy, right? Like, oh my gosh, I wouldn't want to spend $225. So you've got your limit, but you need to think about, like Krista said earlier, don't spend your clients' money for them. Have them spend their money. So talk about it in the beginning, like, okay, what is your beauty budget for today? You know, because then they can bring up, oh, well, I'm going on vacation, so I can't really spend too much this time, or my color's going to fade anyway, so let's just do highlights or whatever. So now that you guys have a game plan for how much you want to spend, then you don't have to send them somewhere else because they can't afford you. You guys can do what was previously talked about and what is in their budget. So they don't think that they can't afford you anymore, so they're going somewhere else.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's another good one.
It is. But I mean, even aligning with creating your own like goals and dreams, it's okay to shed clients too. Like that is okay. And if you're in a salon where it feels weird to like pass clients on, or you feel like people are stealing from you, I feel like that's a big stigma we have in this industry. We talked about it on the last podcast where people feel like they're stealing my clients. Don't touch my client because they'll steal them. Well, you're offering them what they need. So why would they go to someone else? And if they are going to someone else, what did you lack? Or maybe your budget is above. Like, it's okay to give up people if they can't afford you, but give them a secondary option. Don't just be like, okay, good luck, have fun, find
Sorry,
someone.
you can't spend $250 on my foil today. You can go see so-and-so. You know, like, or I have no one else to give you, I guess.
Like, have a plan in mind, something.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you don't talk about that and you go to check out, that's usually why you'll never hear from somebody again. Mm-hmm. Because they'll pay it, but they won't come back to you because you disrespected them. You know, so just have an honest conversation with them. There's nothing wrong with that.
So if we're talking about losing guests, we're shedding because we're raising our prices or whatever. So what's the industry standard? Like, how many clients do we lose a year? You know what it is?
It's like 20%, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's around 20%. So
you need new guests. So the next thing would be finding new guests and referrals. I mean, I see stylists all the time closing their books. Closed until 2023 or whatever that looks like. That is like a literal tombstone on your business.
RIP.
Because then what happens is, okay, you're shedding those 20%. Even if you're the best stylist out there, you will lose people. People move. People lose their jobs. People pass away. Like, there's just a life cycle that works with that. So it's like, you're going to lose people. And then if you closed your books, what if you reopen them? Then you're like, I need clients. Okay, who wants to sit in my chair? It seems so needy.
It really does.
Why would you do that? Or if you raise your price in between all that, you're going to lose some of those people. Like, that's just the reality. So how do you find new guests and build a business?
Different podcast.
That is a whole different podcast. We could talk about marketing, finding new guests, referrals, all of that stuff. I think that's a really good podcast we could go into. Mm-hmm. If that would be something that you're interested in, comment below and let us know. But I mean, honestly, don't close your books. Don't do it. I mean, if you're that busy and you're that booked out, raise your prices. I mean, if you're at least 6 weeks booked out,
she's speaking to me.
I'm talking to you, Cass. Raise your freaking prices, okay?
I did accept a new client the other day.
Good job. I'm proud of you.
As an extension client, so looking forward to where I want to be.
Yeah.
Extensions and color.
Yeah,
so
exactly. So, I mean, again, figuring out where you want to be and then building your dream around that, because And that can change too. You may think you want to be one thing, but just hold yourself accountable and reevaluate. So a year down the road, if you're like, actually, I don't really enjoy this, I'd rather be here, then use this same plan and rebuild where you want to be. So start where you want to have a certain amount per month that makes a certain amount per year, and just do the math on it. So we teach that in our course and everything on the actual formula, but this is a very surface topic to give you at least some starting tools to know what to do, because this isn't talked about in school, is it?
No, and exactly what Chris is saying, we're kind of catering this to what we do monthly with our stylists. So, I mean, if you're an independent stylist, I'm not saying that this isn't for you. I'm just saying that you're going to need a lot more detail. You're going to need to know what you're spending on marketing, how much time you're doing on marketing. I mean, there's literally so many little details. So once again, a whole other conversation.
Taxes.
There's no employer taxes. It's self-employment taxes. So once again, find a nice CPA that you love. But, I mean, so we're just catering this around our stylists that we have. So what's our next thing we watch?
So the next thing would be rebooking percentage. Exactly. How many of those people stay with you? Do you know? What's your rebook percentage?
The last one I checked was, 78%?
That's good.
Yeah, I feel like it's usually 100%. I did have a couple people who were like, I'm going to be a little lower maintenance for the summer. Totally fine, I understand. But, I mean, you have to know how many people are rebooking with you. Are they not rebooking because, what do we see? We see our stylists, they're like, well, I'm not busy, so they think they can just jump on the books whenever. Okay, well, if you have one client on your books and they take your 4 o'clock appointment, and that client wanted your 4 o'clock appointment, now they have to go an extra week out. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then your pay is going to be drawn out for another week.
Yes. So, at least we tell them, at least book something. We have a 48-hour cancellation policy, so if you do need to, move something, just give us a heads up during that time frame. But at least you have a reserved spot. That guarantees you the spot that you want, because that's how we build a business, is knowing that people are coming in. I don't want to be booked 6 months out. I know there's a lot of stylists that brag about that. I'm a year booked out. I have tattoos. If I see something that's booked out for 3 years, I won't go to that artist. I will for a year. I'll wait a year, but I'm not waiting 3 to 4. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing with hair. I don't want to wait a year to get in with someone. Yes, that's demand, but at that point, raise your prices. I'll pay more to come see you.
Once again, speaking to me.
So it's little things like that where it's okay to raise your prices if it makes sense. Don't do it out of haste or because you need the money, because clients aren't going to pay for that. But if your time is in demand, you've earned the right to do that.
Well, and think about the clients you already have, right? You love those clients. They love you. I guess I'm kind of getting into a whole other conversation again of business and friendship. But they come to you for a reason. So if they can't get into you for their normal color in 6 months, or their move up in, 6 weeks, or their move up in 6 weeks, then who's going to do it for them? And that's a client that you absolutely enjoy and they fit your niche, and you're just going to be like, sorry, I don't have that spot for you. But I'm doing this root retouch for $45.
Yeah.
Instead?
No, raise the price, because what's crazy is any time that I've ever raised my price, yes, I've had a couple people are like, I can't pay it, and that's fine. I can shed them to someone else that I trust. Associates, assistants, that's a whole other podcast we can talk about, but they usually say to me, oh, it's about time, or, oh, I'm so happy for you, and you're like, are you fucking serious? Should I have done this sooner? It's kind of a shot in the gut. I've been screwing myself over because I don't think that I'm worth that. I know how much I pay in education. I know how much my tools are.
You don't add on a haircut? Okay, well, you're paying $1,200 for one pair of shears? Really?
Yeah.
But you're not going to add on a haircut?
Oh, yeah. I've got a good 10 grand worth of shears.
Yeah.
So why would my haircut be $30 when I've been doing hair for 10 years and I have 10 grand in shears? Makes no sense. Mm-mm. Make it make sense. I can't pay that off. It's going to take me 5 years. That's a car payment. I'm not going to pay off my shears for 5 years. No. So, that leads us into, what's the stigma around a stylist? Why do you think people don't charge what they should be charging?
Oh my gosh. So, in the last episode, we talked about how my parents told me I had to go to college, right? They're not bad people. Shout out mom and dad. They're actually great. But, 11 years ago, hairstylists didn't make money, right?
What's the average income from a hairstylist? Like
Oh.
$17,000 a year?
I'm pretty sure it's around that to $20,000. It's because people are really sneaky about their taxes and they don't claim their money.
Just makes our industry look bad.
It really does.
Pay your taxes.
Yeah, that's one thing. Jason Everett, you know, I absolutely love that guy. I don't know him personally, but the first thing he preached to me was that claim your income.
Yeah. I mean, claim your income, because what if you want to go buy something? I mean, that's a whole other podcast. Again, like we have so many ideas here, but it's like, know what you need to make, pay your taxes on that. That will come back to you. Like why is our industry felt like it's such a low level thing? Like, oh, you can only be a hairstylist, so that's what you're doing. It's like this dirty word of being a hairstylist when people I know can make easy 6 figures in this industry. Working what? How many? 20 hours a week?
I mean, you and I work 12 hours a week.
Yeah.
But we do have stylists. I mean, none of our stylists work over, I don't think, more than 28 hours a week.
Yeah, I think
And
32
those are building
is the max.
stylists.
And then they shorten to 28.
Yeah.
So,
Our top producer works 20 hours a week.
Yeah. Yeah. She comes in, does her craft, loves what she does, and goes home and has a work-life balance. But I feel like there's just a negative connotation around not working as much too.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Like, we have this fear of like, we saw our parents work a ton, so we have to work that much, or we're young and so we don't deserve that kind of life. But you have to really figure out like what is putting that block in your mind and work through that.
Exactly. I mean, once again, raised in a recession, my dad had to work a second job. So he'd come home from his normal job, and then on the weekends he'd work another job. And so and I think Chris and I, we can relate. We are praised on what we accomplish. We were praised on what we can accomplish. So growing up, you know, straight A's, it's an accomplishment. So I was praised on it. So it seems like being busy and working all the time, you get praised for. And I mean, even 5 years ago, 3 years ago, it was like, if you're not working all the time, what are you doing? You're sitting on your ass. What was
the thing that Kim Kardashian just said? Nobody wants to get up and work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that doesn't mean I want to work 80 hours a week.
Yeah.
What if I can accomplish the same thing in 20 hours? So what, you work all of this, and I'm speaking to myself, working all of this because you're addicted to working or because you want to be somewhere, when you could make the same amount of money and actually enjoy what you're reaping? Like, you want to reap the benefits of it, right? Like, you're just going to work yourself to death?
Can we talk to my nail artist?
She's really talented.
I feel like she works way too much, and yeah, she's got a whole family, and she doesn't get to spend her money.
Would you pay her more for your nails?
Oh yeah, I told her that.
Yeah.
I pay her double.
Dude, I told my tattoo artist that. I would pay you double, because he just wanted to work on projects instead of these one-off little things. And I was like, I would pay you double what I am to get what you've done to me, because I see the value in it. And it's okay if I don't. Like, you'll shed the people that don't see the value in it. But you'll find the people that see your value. As long as you're educating yourself, always growing, not getting stagnant and stuck, you can allow yourself to keep growing. There's always that's one beauty of this industry, is you can keep...
Of the beauty industry.
The beauty of the beauty industry. You can just you can make what you want out of it. And what if you don't want to work 40 hours a week or 20 hours? What if you want to go down to 10? Like, you can do that and then rebuild back up. So this is just the basis, very top surface of how to build a business, how to get out of the rut in your business, just keep yourself accountable, build the business of your dreams, and actually enjoy what you do.
Once again, you can grow what you can track, or you can track what you grow. What is it? What do I say? I don't even know.
You can grow what you track.
Yeah, what you can track, you can grow.
Yeah.
So, if you don't know where you're at, but you know where you want to go, how are you going to get there?
You have to have a plan. So if you are wanting a little bit more individual coaching, comment below. Or if you even want to send us kind of your goals, we would love to give you some free information on how to get where you want to be. So comment below or send us a private message, and we'll give you some free individual little coaching.
Exactly. That's what we love to do. So help us out. Help us help you.